looking right at them.
What do you mean? I thought I saw one the other day.
But they unplugged, dude.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Keep that connection up with you because it'll come unplugged. Put it in your lap.
Okay. Put it in my lap. If I get one more beat-up check, you want me to do something today? I'm going to murder somebody.
Yeah.
I'm going to murder somebody. How's this? Is the audio good? Is it too far back this way?
No, you're doing great.
Should I'm going to move this in and...
Oh, look at that kid.
Oh.
Look at him.
You know, my cats at home don't even fucking get on me for real. Like, they're all over
Yeah, these
me.
cats love it. These cats are all about it.
Because they know me.
Speaking of cats, we like to start every episode by reminding you to reach out to Caddyshack of New Hamel, Illinois. They're very active on social media, and they are a tiny family-run operation, completely nonprofit. We have rescued thousands of cats in our time. I sit on the board of directors for Caddyshack of New Hamel, Illinois, strictly in a fundraising, brainstorming, promotional capacity. I have donated an ad spot of every single episode of this podcast to Caddyshack because I just care about them and I know that they're the real deal and you can help out. Go to my website, jacobv.com, jacobvi.com, and find a link to places to find Caddyshack. There's a Caddyshack tab, and it's just the right thing to do. Save a life or nine. I was just talking to Bug. He's going to sub in for me at my big weekly trivia game at the Bluewood tomorrow. It's free to play, and you can win free beers every round. Bluewood, Cherokee and Lemp, South City.
Come on down.
St. Louis, baby. Woo. Coming up hot, July 8th is the release show for No Antics' debut LP, Fem Grime. It's all been approved with our publisher. It's all been mastered. It's going to be really, really special. My friend Joe, who started this podcast with me, is going to be there selling merch.
Joseph.
My baby brother is going to be there.
What weekend is it?
July 8th.
I guess I'll be there. I'm gonna make it a priority. I'm gonna be there.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
What else? No Antics Fem Grime, the first LP. It's an absolute triumph accomplishment.
Are you picking me up? I don't know if I'm hearing me right. Oh no, you got me. Never mind.
Yeah, I got you. You're just not being very loud.
What? I'm got the mic in my face and a cat in my lap. What do you want?
That's where you're supposed to be. It's gonna sound great. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm in the
Don't
middle
you
of a
worry
plug.
about a thing.
Don't you worry about a thing, mama.
I listened to that song actually like 5 times in the last week.
This last weekend, Blinded by Stereo got paid more money than I ever thought possible. I drank so many free Diet Cokes, and we played an hour uninterrupted rock and roll for the people at the raceway for the NASCAR event, that the Enjoy Illinois 300, which was also the Confluence Music Festival. We found out the day of
the people
that there were no walk-up tickets. There were plenty of tickets on secondary marketplaces, but the event was officially sold out. And it was all over social media. I put the whole keyboard cam on the Patreon, and that brings me to what we need to talk about right now. Patreon.com/JacobV is the only way to support this show financially. We got 2 new patrons in the last week. That is a huge boost for us.
Growing.
To get 2 new ones in less than 7 days.
Expanding.
And I've been putting, if you don't see me doing a podcast, it's because I'm probably on stage somewhere. And I've been putting full videos from the stage of a lot of those shows on the Patreon. You get access to all of those from all time for $1 a week. It's a $4 monthly commitment, and you get access to the last year and a half of exclusive weekly Patreon content, demos, unreleased material.
Did you get an interview with Flo Rida?
You know what? He was in makeup all day.
Oh.
He was in makeup they powder his whole body.
He doesn't
He
wear
is
makeup.
like a powdered donut.
That's horse shit.
No. They have to cream him up good.
Oh, man.
But I got to shout at him through the door. I got to say, Mr. Flo, I just really appreciate that song you made about the Snapple possum jeans.
Excuse me, Mr. Rida.
Excuse me, Florence. It's Jacob.
Florence Rida.
Excuse me,
Big fan.
Florence James Rida? Jacob V, nice to meet you.
Big
We
fan.
were noticing, though, when we were backstage, we were in the suites where people watch the races. A whole building of them were reserved for talent, and that's where I had all my free Diet Cokes and a little charcuterie board and whatnot. And
you seemed like you were having a great time.
it was absolutely how I'm supposed to live every day. Show up at noon, catering, air-conditioned Denali. I laid on the couch in my own suite by myself for about 30 minutes and listened to my Zen Garden playlist and really got in the thing, and I really felt good about the set.
I thought you meant Soundgarden for a second.
It's a combination. It's Zen drones for meditation, and then every now and then Slaves and Bulldozers by Soundgarden.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a great combination of tones, if you can get it.
I feel like that would mix me up emotionally a little bit. But
Well, yeah, but you're sensitive.
I'm so sensitive. Holy shit. I mean, it's been rough.
You're a sensitive boy.
I'm so sensitive.
I may even give you a little more game.
And sometimes I like to suppress my emotions and then just let it out. I cried for like 10 minutes at the finale of Ted Lasso.
I'm not talking to you about this.
You won't fucking watch it, but
I'm
you
not.
gotta.
I don't understand.
It will improve you as a person.
Why?
Just like Paddington 2.
What?
Nothing. It's
No, but I understand the appeal of I thought the whole consensus was that it was dumb.
No. I mean, it's goofy in the beginning, 100%, but the character development and then the way that it's kind of so well-rounded at the end of what Jason Sudeikis wanted it to be, which was 3 seasons, I think that it was I think it was perfect. Also, I watched it following the finale of Barry.
But what is it? What did he want it to be? I have no idea. I just know what he dresses like.
I think that it transcended what he wanted it to be, but
what
it
was
ended
that?
the way
what
that we
did he-
needed it to be.
But what did he want?
What I think he just wanted to be an American football coach that went to go teach soccer in the UK, or not teach, coach soccer in the UK, and you know, I mean, it's about him dealing with his divorce and his troubles with communicating with his family from such a distance, and you know, being immersed into the culture that is European football, and it was just really great to watch everyone grow and change, and that's all I can really say without you watching the show, because it's a lot. And the best part is there's so much character development that now they could continue the series without Ted Lasso, and I think that it would still be a success.
Really?
Yes, I think they could do a little spin-off, but really just keep things the same with Jason Sudeikis out, and I think it'd be great.
Does he want out?
Well, I think that his intentions were to be, but I don't know.
But it's so popular now.
He could still
what else is he doing?
produce. But it doesn't really matter. We can go on to talk about things you want to talk about.
No, I put it in the show prep. Now I want to know. I want to know why you like it so much. We like so much of the same shit.
It's just, you know, when you can laugh and pray in 30 minutes, I think that really says a lot.
That is maybe my favorite SNL skit of all time.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not joking.
the Tom Hanks is
Kenan-
the trumper.
Kenan Thompson's Black Jeopardy with Tom Hanks as a Make America Great Again guy named Doug.
Mm-hmm. That was so good.
And he kind of talked like my father-in-law, whose name is Doug.
Doug doesn't talk like that.
He kind of talks a little bit like that.
Doug doesn't have an accent.
No, he doesn't have a southern accent of
No.
any kind. No, he definitely kind of was hamming it up a little bit. But, there's
I thoroughly
but it was
enjoyed
just
that.
so funny. When I can laugh and pray all in one movie, I love that. And then Kenan Thompson comes up to him and says, "I really appreciate you saying that."
Let me tell you
and
something
tries
about
to shake
that
his
shirt.
hand.
I really
and he goes,
appreciate that. He puts his hands up.
"Whoa!" That's like I will totally like. I use this as a colloquialism that I refer to the SNL crowd as like the establishment left that kind of run media, and they want to speak social justice from a place of privilege, and I just don't think that's I think that's the person who really enjoys that show, who doesn't want to be on it, they just enjoy it. It's just a very removed from reality type of demographic.
Well, and I've listened to a lot of interviews with people who both have like written for and starred in, or both, in the show, and it just sounds like a really complicated thing to participate in. And then so when they do it for that long, like the fact that Kenan Thompson's been doing it for, what's it now? Like, what was it, like 12 or 14 seasons? Something like that?
Has he been that long?
It's been a long time.
I remember the season he first came on, and I remember just being so proud of him because...
Well, I mean,
we grew
you
up,
remember all that
Yeah, we
in
grew
the
up watching
Kenan
all
Kel
that.
show.
We were that exact... And I thought all that was the coolest show.
And
I remember
that opening music.
Well, that's all that. Oh, this is all that. This is all that. I mean,
Yeah.
I could listen to that all day. And they had like real R&B and hip hop acts on that show. I mean, performing clean versions of their material, of course. But it was just like you would get like. I can't find my thing.
What's your thing?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's probably in my car. But yeah, that was a great show, and so I'm never gonna, get that paper, boo boo. For them to keep him on like that for that long in such a what is otherwise such a white institution, for him to be such a long-standing symbol to young people of color of being a successful television comedian person. I don't know. I love Kenan Thompson. I love that bit. I'm not generally a fan of SNL, but we all kind of grew up with it, so I don't know.
It has changed a lot since
So I'm not going to watch Ted Lasso.
way back then. That's fine. I mean, if it were a reality TV show with a bunch of rich assholes, just
that's what I like.
pretending to
We're
have
watching
feelings.
Miami right now.
I think that today is something about Vanderpump Rules is happening or something.
Yeah, there's so they did a 3-part reunion,
Yeah.
and then
I watched the one 2 weeks ago. I watched the reunion part 1 or whatever.
they did a 3-part reunion for this season, and then more shit came to light after the fact. They're just milking the shit out of it. And meanwhile, St. Louis native Andy Cohen is getting his producer credit, baby, and racking in the mills, daddy.
Who's the guy that pissed off everyone because he cheated on his girlfriend?
Tom Sandoval, who is from like Hazelwood or something, and he's got a terrible mustache, and he's 40. He's like 40 something years old.
I said he looked like if someone gave Justin Long a bunch of Botox.
Yeah, he looks like if Justin Long had an older brother that
Really tightened it up in the face.
yeah, that was like, you remember the guy John whatever from The Walking Dead who was in Wolf of Wall Street?
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. His podcast sucks.
He has a podcast?
Yeah, it's called The Real Ones.
Oh, I wouldn't listen to that.
And he just bros down with Shia LaBeouf and talks about, man, when you have a baby,
Listen, I just
and
wanna
your
see-
your paternal instincts kick in, and it just gives you a reason to live, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's
I
like,
just
yeah, man.
want to see his crooked nose and his abs. That's all I want.
Yeah, give me the abs and the nose. I really don't need him to talk. He would be a good John Wick because I don't need him to talk. Don't talk to me, John.
Yeah, you know what? John
Get out
Wick,
there.
I've only seen that one John Wick movie, and he doesn't really say a lot in it. He just kind of does stuff.
There's one point where he
still
just goes to the
convinced.
guy. He goes, "I need a gun."
We talked about this.
That was you that told me
like
that?
4 podcasts
I looked
ago.
it up though. I watched it a couple weeks
It's
later.
the way he says it, and I thought
It doesn't make any
immediately,
sense.
I haven't seen any of these. Is this guy, is he autistic?
And you remember when I started this podcast, I was in the middle of
might
a
have the
massive
burgers.
playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077, and the acting in that was kind of similar. It was really
That's what it is.
it was really cool to.
He's not an angry man in real life, and he's bad at faking it.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see him in the game, but you just didn't buy any of the dialogue because the character that was written was not at all his temperament.
Right, but you gotta let him try.
Yeah.
He's come a long way,
Oh, and I love Keanu Reeves.
and he's experienced a lot in his life.
Love Keanu Reeves.
He's lost friends. He's lost romantic.
I'm thinking
partners.
about doing a little lip filler.
You don't need that.
I think it'd be nice.
Are you going for like a Princess Peach, like Tom Hardy lip thing? What are you doing?
I don't know what that is.
Have you never seen Tom Hardy's lips?
Not recently.
They're like Princess Peach lips. They don't really have a bump and a bump in the middle. It's just kind of one bump. Look it up. Look up Tom Hardy Princess Peach lips, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Someone has put that into Google already.
That's probably a whole. It probably has its own subreddit.
Look at this kitten. We each got one.
We got one.
We got a his and hers kitten
Yeah,
situation.
they're both his.
No, I know, but I'm the hers.
Oh yeah, that's.
It's
fine.
like a vanity.
But they're good babies.
Ted Lasso, Patreon. I'm going to try to release a couple new songs this summer that I've been kind of sitting on that I haven't finished yet. I think my friend Molly from No Antics is going to help me finish a couple of them. They're both on my live album from the
I love No Antics. I love seeing them live. I've seen them in multiple places now. And like, it's cool that you're there, but I genuinely enjoy the energy.
And that's the
on
thing that I
stage.
really enjoy about it is that it is its own thing. It's just me with a band. It's like the band is its own demon, and then I get to be a part of that.
It really is. It's a bunch of people doing different shit and just making it work together on stage. That bass player, he's like that kid from the Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah.
And then Molly, and then what's the drummer? What's his name? Austin? No. what's
Miles.
his- Miles. Like Miles. He just got that good boy face and energy.
Yeah.
He just said he's just a good boy.
He's a sweet boy.
Seems like a sweet boy. And then there's that other tall guy.
Yeah, Dee.
Dee. Didn't really meet him, but he seems nice.
Oh, he is nice. You'd like him a lot. He's a good hugger.
Oh, I love good hugs.
He's one of us.
You know what the thing is, though, is over the years, I used to be really aggressive with my hugs. I used to just walk up to people and pick them up. But now, if someone hugs me at random, I'm not okay with it. Like, I love people sometimes, especially if I know them. But if I get a hug from a stranger, it sets my day off.
Oh, I don't have that. I have the opposite problem.
What's that?
I'll hug anybody. I'll hug a demon.
Well, you'll give strangers rides to gas stations.
I'll kiss them on the mouth.
I don't do that anymore either.
Yeah, we got to quit doing that.
Yeah,
It's just not safe. In
I'm
this economic
very
environment
close-
right now, it's
I'm
not safe to
very
just be giving
close to
people rides in your
reinforcing
car.
my car.
You can't let people know that you have a catalytic converter.
I got like 5 of them.
And you can't let people know that.
Well, I
there's
drive around with
platinum
them in the back.
And there's copper.
Because if I get one stolen, then I just pop a new one on.
probably gold, silver. I mean, it's like it's like a little bundle of loot.
You see how someone patented the idea for like catalytic converter cages? And you put a cage around your catalytic converter so it can't get stolen?
But then they just cut out all around it and they take the whole thing.
Oh yeah, those angle grinders, man, they'll fucking take it out.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I've cut so much metal in the last 2 months with angle grinders, and you can get some shit off of stuff.
Why are
with
you
angle
cutting
grinders.
metal?
I just do really whatever your father tells me to do for money.
He's got you cutting metal?
I do a lot.
Wouldn't it be great if the next time I see my dad, he's on the news because he's running a ring of stolen catalytic. I almost said catalytic. Catarism.
Converters.
A cataclysm.
But someone climbed over his fence in his old Kirkwood house that he no longer owns and stole a catalytic converter off of his big old truck.
Why would they climb the fence?
I don't know. He had security footage of it because he has cameras because he's crazy.
He saw him climbing the fence?
He just saw the video of it after the fact.
What did they do with that?
They took it and they went away with it.
No, but then what happens?
Well, so when they cut off the catalytic converter and then they leave with it.
I meant, what did Dad do?
Oh, I don't know.
I guess it's insured.
Maybe. I'm not sure. You know, maybe the insurance company would be like, no, that's an act of God. So
St. Louis residents watching this, you could text us live. You can comment, and I think the multi-stream chat is working.
Hashtag where my cat at.
If any of my neighbors have stolen your catalytic converter, I would love to know what your insurance company told you about that.
That's a good question. 'cause
You
I
didn't
know
let me
people that
finish
had
my
it.
original thought, though.
What was that?
I'm thinking about releasing a couple of new songs from Jacob V and the Yes Men because June 24th, we are playing a free show before Chris moves to Atlanta.
Why is Chris moving to Atlanta?
The rest of his family is there. We knew it was a matter of time.
I knew that his brother was there, but I didn't know
No,
that he
his
was
parents
still
moved there several years ago.
Is it because there's grandbabies involved?
I think they were also merging homes with his grandfather, and so they brought him up from Florida. They made him in Atlanta, and they kind of set up shop there. They've always liked it there. And then, Craig got married the same day Keenan and I did.
Yes, I recall.
Yeah.
But also, you know, nothing really beats that Atlanta 3 hours to get anywhere kind of traffic.
Well, they live in the northern suburbs, I think, and you know, unless you're commuting to work downtown every day, I don't. I mean, I'm sure the traffic's worse than here, but
It's bad. I've driven through Atlanta like twice, and it's just dead stop, fucking parking lot on the highway kind of traffic. It's horrible.
and it's hot. It's too
And
hot for me.
it's hot.
But I'm excited about it because I think No Antics wants to go play in Atlanta, and so having friends there is helpful. And we could always go do a Jacob V thing down there and stay with them. We could do a podcast there. You and me go down there. That's maybe what you should start doing. Maybe you should start playing drums for me.
I haven't played a drum set in
I'll teach you.
10 years.
Buddy, I'm in summer camp mode right now.
I'm
I'm doing rock shows with children every Friday for the next 9 weeks.
You know the last time I played drums? You know when the last time I played drums was?
At Mike Duffy's that one time?
Nope. Did I play the drums at Mike Duffy's? That was longer ago. I was living in Kansas City. I was shithouse drunk in Westport in Kansas City, and there was a street band, and I gave them $10 to let me play a song with them. And I was way too drunk, and it did not go well. And I forgot that I hadn't touched a drum set in like 6 years. So it was just a whole lot sloppy.
Yeah, but I think you start playing drums for me in July, and I'll get you up to snuff. Don't worry.
Sure. Yeah, if you quit letting my drums get stolen out of your car.
It was out of the alley.
We're
the kick drum, and I bought
it was in your car in the alley.
I bought a period correct replacement. It's just a different color.
That pearl.
Yeah, That red one over there.
I still can't believe you let that blue one get away, though.
I know. I can't. Well, I was out there. Like, I was just running stuff into here from the alley, and I came back and like half of it was gone. And I had done so many trips. I had never seen anybody. It was just wild. But I got that one for $30, and it's the exact same series and era and everything. It's just
That's
a different
good.
color, so we'll be good. I didn't
Okay.
like that blue anyway.
I was fine with the blue.
I have the rest of them. It was a 7-piece drum kit. We're gonna be okay.
Okay.
I got the rest of the pieces.
Do you still have that 15-inch Zildjian hi-hat that you got?
Oh
me?
yeah, those
The
are my
black
hi-hats,
series?
baby.
Those are good.
Pitch Black, Daddy.
That's right.
Master Sound, fam. Now, so there's 2 songs on my live album from the Heavy Anchor in 2019 that have never been released in a studio form, and we've been working on those, and so I'm gonna try to get them out. They probably won't be live in time for the show on the 24th, but we'll put the masters up on Patreon by then, and then they'll be out shortly thereafter. But it just sort of came up, and so we decided to squeeze one last thing together, and the Heavy Anchor was booked for emo night. So I said, what if we do something a little earlier in the evening for free at the Blue Wood, where I do a lot of my entertainment?
Oh God, you're gonna be playing like full band shit at Blue.
No, I got a drum shield. I'm borrowing a drum shield from a guy.
It's just so loud and acoustic
Well, and
in there.
everything else is going to be into the PA. And it's going to be a Saturday evening. People can go somewhere else if it's going to be too loud.
There's just a lot of surfaces to bounce stuff off of.
Well, right, but that's why I'm going to use the drum shield.
Okay.
And so that
If they can do it in a mega church, they can do it at Bluewood.
Oh yeah. And actually, the crowd is so fucking loud in there. Usually, I mean, you'll learn this tomorrow. Like, you got to be very intentional with how you set up the JBL, and you got to really crank it. So, and I saw a comedy show there, and you couldn't hear the comedians. So I'm like, you know what? We need more sound.
They did a comedy show?
Yeah, and just like the mic
At the
wasn't
Blue
loud enough.
Wood?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd love to do more stuff like that there. I'd love to do an open mic there.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Um,
You just got to get those people's approval.
yeah, I need to get like a full-time day job so I could do fun stuff like that in the evening. Mm-hmm. But the thing with so I was worried about that because I want Chris to be able to play his full drum set with real sticks or whatever. But I got a buddy who's gonna let me borrow his acrylic drum shield, and I just gotta go to Wildwood and pick it up from his parents.
Wildwood?
I know, that's why I don't have it already.
Ugh.
Otherwise, it would already be down here.
You know what? I hear that they have a good restaurant there called the Wildwood Cafe. I hear that the food is delicious.
I'm not a sponsor.
and
I'm
I
not
said,
plugging.
I said, hey, you know what? Where is the Wildwood Cafe? And I got told Wildwood, and that's all I know about it.
You could look it up.
Nope. That's about as much as I'm going to
People
learn
are so
about that.
shitty about it. People will not tell you where stuff is anymore.
Well, you know, we do have the Googles.
Yeah, but like I can visualize most of the metropolitan area
Same.
with my fucking brain. So
I know
tell
how to
me-
get mostly
Tell me
anywhere.
it's on a street that people know about, maybe, and I'll fucking be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, like, oh, well,
That's how a
word?
conversation works. A conversation is not, "I like the Wildwood Cafe." Oh, where's that? Fuck you.
Yeah, no,
Google
that's how
it.
it goes.
That's not a conversation, Daddy.
Well, conversations don't really happen a lot these days.
That's
I
what
feel
I'm
like.
saying. It's because you let all the kids watch the MTV,
No, it's because we all have really short attention spans.
huh?
It says we all have really short attention spans. I listened to an interview with some jackass. I don't know. It was on NPR, and this was like 5 years ago, talking about how the average human attention span now is like 8 seconds. And that's it. And that made Vine really helpful because 7-second videos. Hell, you got time for a video and then a second. You know.
But that's a chicken or egg thing. Was Vine successful in that, or did it get us down to that?
It might have been a little bit of both. It might have helped itself, you know.
Yeah.
It might have gotten in while the getting was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, you know, we got the ticky tackies and everything, and you can even do Instagram stories. I think up to 3 minutes now.
10.
10. Sorry, I yelled that. 10 minutes.
10
10.
lipstick
In my Valentino.
in my
white bag.
Valentino white bag.
That's crazy.
So I think I have 2 new songs we're going to try to finish up. Molly from No Antics, that's where we were, is going to help me.
We really got away from that.
Because that's my thing. Is like with this and everything. Like I've only ever done like one episode of this podcast by myself because I need a warm body to bounce off.
How
of.
boring was that episode?
It was short.
Oh, that's fair.
It was, I was like just giving everybody an update and got to move it on. You got to give me somebody to talk to.
That's fair.
And so I'm just putting my phone up here so I can quit reaching for it.
Get your phone up there.
Oh yeah,
Put a phone on it.
pull those pants up.
They're up.
We are not a monolith.
I am not a
What's been
Spider-Man.
so? Are you okay?
I'm okay, I guess. No, actually, you know what? I had an existential crisis because I've been working construction for your father basically for the last 2 months because I quit my job back in the end of March, and I thought that I'd have a thing by now. But then when I had those 5 interviews with a certain tech company in the area, and I still didn't get the job.
5 interviews?
5 interviews, and I still didn't get. They were talking about start dates, whatever. And I still didn't get the job. That kind of crushed me a little bit because I was so invested in it. I put all my eggs in that basket. And
that happened.
That tech company took that basket of eggs and threw them against the wall. And that's okay. Like I accept their decision. I appreciate the opportunity.
Did you do what I told you?
Seems so cool, like some cool people. What?
Did you tell them all the things I told you to tell them?
I didn't tell them about your podcast, so that probably.
Did you tell them that you're a radical non-binary communist?
I did not tell them that either.
That's what they want to hear.
It was hard to slip that into the conversation.
Find out who got your job, and I guarantee you in their Twitter bio it says some of those things.
You might be right. I don't really know who got the job, and I don't really care. But the fact of the matter is I'm so up in the air right now with everything that I was shopping for a tool belt on a Home Depot website 2 days ago, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not gonna fucking buy a tool belt.
I don't know. I mean, you would have quit by now if it ever got to a sustained point of being bad enough.
Well,
to
there
quit.
are some good days and there are some bad days, and as we both know, our father can be a little bit much sometimes when he's anxious. And that's just a thing that sometimes happens. Other than that, sometimes I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the product of the work. Like I enjoy going in there and there being nothing, and then
leaving and you built something.
A week later, coming back there 2 or 3 times, and then there's a thing there that you were a part of that being there. But then there's some days where it's like, well, hold on a minute. Why am I here? Am I just here to pass you 2 old fuckers wood? Like, am I just here to take the wood off the truck and hand you the wood?
You're the wood guy?
I'm the wood guy.
You're the woodsman?
I'm doing the grunt work, and it's just kind of like, listen, I'm
what's really
almost
hard.
32 years old.
I've met
I'm
other
doing the
people
same
like this.
shit. I'm doing the same shit that I was doing when I worked for him like a decade ago, except for now I'm trusted with several more power tools. And it's like,
Well, that's nice.
It's fun until he does that thing where he doesn't understand that he's been doing it for 35 years, and I've been doing it for maybe an accumulative 6 months of my entire fucking life, and so I don't work as quickly as he does, and then there's a level of anxiety, that sets in on everybody.
But his pace is also mellower than it was then, I'm sure.
Oh, goodness gracious, you were correct. I'm so glad that he's got bad joints.
He used to build a monster deck in a day.
I think it took us 3 days to make a deck this time.
Oh, God.
But it was a big deck.
Well,
It was like a 16 by 20 deck.
and there's always an extra day because you got to pour the posts and leave them.
That was pretty easy, actually.
No, but you have to wait.
But we did it at the end of the day.
Right.
So then we came back 2 days later. That shit was ready. And we did everything else. But also, the cost of everything now. I hear them talking about the material costs.
Yeah.
The decking alone for this 16 by 20 deck was roughly $7,000.
Well, that's why I don't have a deck yet.
Yeah, because it would cost you $10,000 to get the deck that you want.
It would be like $5,000 just in materials
And
for the minimal
not even
10-foot
thinking
deck
about
I wanted
the labor.
in my humble backyard here in my Southampton
And
home.
wood. The cost of wood has come down a lot since COVID, but it's still expensive ass wood. But that's not what people are here to talk about.
No, I think it's valuable perspective, and that thing is special. That thing that feeling of actually completing something physical, creating something, seeing it come together. You don't leave with a sense of like regret or like what am I doing or why don't I have purpose?
Because my job before that was in an office, and it was doing
You don't
the
get to
same
see
thing.
any of the progress.
No, it was
you
doing
just
the
see
same
the
thing
numbers.
every fucking day. And you know what my favorite thing about that shitty fucking job was solving a problem. Someone would come to me and be like, hey, there's a huge snowstorm out in Utah. All the highways are shut down. 80's shut down. No one can get the fuck out of Ogden, Utah right now. We have to reschedule these appointments with the Walmart distribution centers that are over on the East Coast. And I would solve that problem myself, and I would be able to tell 3 people, hey, don't worry your little weird fucking heads. I fixed the problem. And then I would get 1.5 thank yous out of the 3 people, and then I would feel good for a solid 45 minutes.
1.5 thank yous is funny.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that was probably the only thing I actually enjoyed about that job was problem solving. The rest was tedious bullshit.
Yeah. You are innately great. You have potential for vast and unimaginable greatness living within you.
Hey. I've already listened to that Snoop Dogg song.
And you are free to pursue the development of that greatness, but other people have more than they need because they prey on unclaimed greatness. Other people gather up the greatness that many of us leave on the table, and if you become too great, you will threaten the greatness that they've harnessed and hoarded. They may try to stop you, but you are still great. You are still entitled to your greatness.
Did you write this down?
Yeah, you just have to let everyone know that you are there to get yours.
Did you rehearse this in the car?
No, this is just the weekly affirmation for this episode.
Oh, that's good. Weekly affirmations are actually very important.
You gotta have that.
Well, you know what I do is I don't do that at all, and then I take out my pent up aggressions on my loved ones.
Well, it's like posture. It's like I'll sit like shit for 3 months, and then one day I'll go like this for like 30 seconds, and I'll feel like I fixed it.
Have you tried upping your fiber intake?
No.
I hear it does wonders.
I've done
I
it
refuse to do it. Sometimes I'll have an extra slice of bread a day, and it'll just do it.
What kind of bread?
That healthy grainy bread. The one with the grains in it.
The sprouted grains? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's good for you.
I'll just do an extra one of
That's
those.
like a steel scrubby through your colon.
I'll throw like an extra 2 or 3 of those in my week, and I have a whole different week. Sometimes I think lack of fiber is really what's causing all my problems.
Well, you got to have fiber because if you get gunked up, you're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel sluggish.
I'm already heavy and sluggish. I'm 6'7" and 300 pounds.
Yeah, you want to be hydrated and a little hungry at all times.
I do drink roughly 4 to 5 liters of water a day right now. But it was so humid today, my shirt was completely saturated by lunch and then dried at lunch, and then I completely saturated it again.
No, you should.
I don't want to know how much sweat came out of me. No,
bring a couple shirts.
I just did the one shirt today, and it was a bad idea.
No, you got to bring a couple shirts.
It was heavy, and it was
my
wet.
second shirt today. I overslept this morning because my mattress swallowed my phone, and I was supposed to be at summer camp at 8:30, and I woke up, and then I was like, it's bright in here. Alexa, what time is it? And she said, it's 10:41. And I said, my babies!
When did you have to be there?
8:30.
Oh, my God.
They
what
thought
happened?
I was dead. They were convinced I was dead.
Oh, no. This is like that time that I was supposed to come help you with your moving in day at this house.
It was a lot like that, except for there were plenty of other
And my
people
phone
there.
fell behind the couch. It was on a charger, and it had alarm set, but it fell behind the couch.
I don't have keys or anything, so it wasn't like
And
that.
I was missing for a whole total of 90 minutes, and you guys called everyone.
We were
in
looking for
St.
your
Louis.
body. I gave you the only
you
key
called
to the house.
hospitals and police stations and morgues. You had people driving the routes home from the bar that I work at to home.
Well, you went out after you had told people you weren't going out.
Yeah, I did that back
And the
then.
only other person who knew that you had gone out was also asleep.
Well, Danielle knew exactly where I was. Mom called her and she said he's probably there. Oh, speaking of that topic, we should probably bring Kai back on the show soon.
I love it. People love Kai.
Well, I talked to Andy. You know Andy, and I talked to Andy recently. He said
He just resubscribed to the Patreon. Welcome back, Andrew Jaycox.
Andrew Jaycox, love you, man. He said,
Shout out.
He said, love the episodes with you guys, but that one where you brought on your buddy Kai, I really enjoyed that episode. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
I think that was a good. It was a good. And also we were fired up because I had locked my keys in my car. You guys had been drinking. It was a fun time.
Oh, we
But
had
no,
been
yeah,
drinking.
Kai is a good addition to the show. He's welcome anytime.
Oh, and then we burned through like a 12-pack of beer.
And you only bought 12 beers to do a podcast?
It was an hour. I didn't think we were going to rifle through a 12-pack of beer in an hour.
I raised you better than that.
Well, I'm trying to dial it back. I barely even drink anymore. Now,
Okay.
I probably drink once, maybe twice a week tops. And sometimes it's only a couple. I used to go balls to the wall 6 nights a week. And I was making twice what I am now, So I saw no difference because I was spending all that additional funds on the booze. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What else you got on that list?
I was probably supposed to be gay,
Probably.
but I grew up in the Midwest in the 90s in a historically Catholic family.
Yes, and your father said that he'd kill you.
He did tell me he would kill me. He told me
Yeah.
he had unregistered firearms.
We both know that was a lie.
No, you don't have to register them in Missouri.
No, the killing thing, but I think it really
Oh.
stuck with you.
Well, yeah, I was a child.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know why we do this to children. We interrogate them about their sexual preferences and project onto them all of our curiosities and our insecurities way before they would even have the desire or the privilege of acting on any of those feelings.
Well, as a non-parent, I think I'm very qualified to talk about this subject. So as a non-parent, I can say that my biggest fear as a parent would be the inability to help my offspring with their life and their growth as an individual. So if I were a a 100% white cis straight male raising another one that sort of similarly looks to me, right, and they're just white male baby, and then that baby told me that it was gay, I would be fully unprepared to help them with their next step in life. So then I would be filled with fear and anxiety on the outcome of their future ventures. And so that would make me angry because I could not fix that problem for them. That would be the stress or even the danger that could be there.
And a lot of people externalize that onto their children as if their children can respond.
I think that's a gentle way to go about that, but also some people just hate gay people. And that also is a big factor when it comes to the people that were trying to force their children to be hetero.
And like... So we project all that onto them, and we interrogate them. Like me, since I was a little kid, are you gay? You better not be gay. But if you were to have sex, which I totally don't approve of, who would that be with? And can you describe it to me? Can you slow down? Can you dim the lights? I think all adults have some aspect of their sexual identity that develops in a way that was not ideal for them. So a lot of adults look back and think, man, wouldn't it have been exciting if I had just known how to participate in a sexual romantic relationship or encounter in a way that was safe, but all of those other kinds of exciting, like on TV.
The being open-minded and less fearful and more just straight up supportive would have changed a lot of people's lives in relationships with their parents.
Yeah.
I think. And then it wouldn't really matter if you were gay or straight or pan or bi or whatever you were, as long as they were just there to be supportive. But a lot of people are so scared of change and scared of the unknown, which for them is, the lifestyle of a gay or pan or bisexual individual. Then it makes them try to push that away, and then it causes resentment over time. Because if there's one thing that happens in a relationship between two people, no matter what the nature of that relationship is if you push back and don't allow the person to operate as an individual and support them and nurture them, there's going to be developed resentment over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge thing, especially in the Midwest, especially in the Bible Belt.
Well, and there's lots of places like this. Boston is really historically Catholic, and so there's a lot of deep-seated homophobia throughout communities in places like that, which is very similar to St. Louis is the only reason I mention it. And I don't blame anybody. It's not anybody's fault. I don't have any regrets. I don't want to change anything about who I am at this point. But I know things would have been different in a different climate. I mean, it was just crazy then. How different it is to now. It's so weird to look at how different it is between now and even when I was in high school.
I just don't really think that any demographic needs that level of hatred and refusal to understand or support. And that's it. Unless you're, except for pedophiles. Fuck pedophiles.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
naturally.
I mean, that's one group that we all specifically agree, just kind of fuck them.
Yeah.
But the rest, they just need some love and understanding and a little bit of patience.
I had a great conversation. I end up doing the Q&A at the congregation I work for on Sundays, and with the speakers a lot of the time. We import speakers because it's not a traditional Christian organization or anything. It's it's a secular spot. And the guy this week represents a group called Black Pride STL, which is it used to just be a festival, and it was a specific festival catered to the LGBT community within the black community locally, and it's grown into an organization that does a lot of stuff. And I got to really ask him a lot of questions about how are these issues, how are, for example, LGBTQ issues not specific enough to the black LGBTQ issues. And he's very easy to talk to. He's a very lovely guy. I forget his name. Rafters, I think was his last name. But Black Pride STL is his thing. And this was a huge thing, is that a lot of the problem is lack of visibility and understanding between different groups. It's really hard to communicate with someone who doesn't understand what you have to contend with every day, right?
Exactly.
And so I think we just try to force reality on the children, because a lot of people have children as they don't know what else to do, and it just kind of happens. They're just like, let's just do it. And so they don't prepare themselves for those hard conversations. And a lot of people try to avoid them entirely, which is why we always have this complicated relationship with sex ed in schools, because it's like some people want the school to do it for them. Some people want the school to do it for them, but only the way that they want them to do it. Some people want the school to not address it at all. You know what I mean? And it just builds this really complicated climate to grow up in, especially when you figure out as you get older and older, nobody has it figured out. People that act like they're experts get busted doing creepy shit all the time, and it's just not
like the Dalai Lama.
the fucking Dalai Lama, brother.
Hey, listen here, kid. Suck on my tongue.
Hey, listen here, kid. Look at,
suck on my tongue a little bit. It's okay.
I don't understand.
And then his PR team, we're just kind of like, oh, he says
He's
says the
an old guy.
craziest things.
He lives in
sometimes.
Tibet.
It's like when, remember that show, Kids Say the Darnest Things?
Yeah, it was exactly how they did that. It's like the Dalai Lama says the
And they were-
funniest.
They were like, Dolly.
Dolly.
Oh, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
Jacob, can you see what's happening to me
I
right
love it. I love that he's putting his butthole
Dude,
right on your face.
Right there. You know, they say that when cats do this, it's a sign of trust, but right
He
now, I
trusts
don't.
you too much.
I don't trust
It's
him.
too much trust for
I don't
me.
trust his big fat ass.
My favorite thing about the word trust is one time I was just sitting in front of MTV2, and Usher had just released the video for Climax, which is a pretty good song, actually.
a good one.
And the video includes a lot of really long takes where it's not cutting away, and he's dancing and singing to the camera. And Miguel just kept saying, yeah, it takes a lot of trust to make a music video like that. You really got to trust the camera. You got to trust it. And that's how Miguel talks. He talks like that.
Sure thing.
And so whenever someone says that, that's what I flash back to. So you got your hands full over there. So be nice to children is what I'm trying to say. I'd like to quit McDonald's and move to Quick Trip exclusively.
But why? I mean, no. I mean, I'm not really. Ever since I got rid of the snack wrap, I'm fully pretty much against McDonald's. The only time I really ever get McDonald's is a last resort situation. But Quick Trip. You know what? Actually, I kind of fuck with a lot of their hot food.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it. Like, I haven't gotten it in a minute, but, like, I used to, like, stop there and get, like, one of those little breakfast tacos.
Oh, I love the breakfast options.
But you know what they need? They need, like, a little bit of hot sauce. Little hot sauce packets for those breakfast tacos.
They do that.
What?
They have little packets of Cholula.
Where?
With all the packets. I don't know.
Well, you mean all the way on the other side of the fucking gas station from the hot rack?
No, over by, like, the nacho bar.
Yeah, that's all the way on the other side of the situation.
Which one?
The one in Afton's the one that's right by my home.
You know how I feel about Afton.
I live there.
I don't like it
Your
there.
mother lives there.
I don't like it.
Your aunt lives there.
I don't like it as a municipality. I don't like the people that built that community. I don't like them. I
Your
don't
uncle's a fireman there.
I like him. He's a hero.
He's one of the most respected.
He's not on the
and
architecture
well-paid
review board.
firemen in that department. And apparently he doesn't have to do that much because
Well, he's a leader. He's like their mother figure.
he's their engineer.
He's the station mother. I think.
Did you hear that he got a Mother's Day card from everyone on Mother's Day?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, because they call him Mom
Isn't that funny?
because he cooks their meals and everything.
Yeah.
So they got him a Mother's Day card, and I just think that's funny because he's
He's a
massive.
he's a sweet man.
He's like the second largest Feed 'em check next to me.
He facilitated both of my vaccinations.
You know what? I would trust him. I would. He's
At the
also
height
he's
of-
also one of the kindest.
Oh, sweet man.
I got to hang out with him last Saturday. I was out in Hillsborough
jealous.
helping your father build a deck on building some steps on his deck at his new home, and Chris showed up, and I was like, Chris, hi Chris, it's good to see you. That's all I said to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Life is complicated.
Well, you know, I mean, everyone's busy and got stuff. He's got daughters. His wife's busy. You know, so things.
Last time you were on the show, we talked about the circuit attorney that got killed on the highway.
Oh yeah, James.
And it turns out, yeah, he was actually a good friend of ours, and we
Yeah.
didn't know that at the time.
His family made me a giant foam sword so I could go LARPing with them once.
Yeah.
It was way back in like 2006.
And at the time that we were reading the story, we had no idea that we knew this person. We didn't even know he was a lawyer.
Oh, and the worst part is, I think he got married in 2021.
Yeah, he's married.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have kids?
I don't know.
And
well, they definitely don't. They're definitely not going to have him now because he's dead, unfortunately.
He was a sweet guy. And he went from slanging
he
pizzas
was
with
a
his
nice
family
guy.
through law school to a position of service and prestige in our community like that. He had a lot of good left to give.
Yeah, and I just feel so horrible for his family and for his wife.
He leaves behind a twin brother who I'm hurting for dearly,
Oh, I hope that Alex is okay.
and a wife whom I can only imagine is just still shocked and
I
devastated.
can't believe it.
So hug somebody.
I mean, you know, when you hear about something like that happening, you have no idea that you're going to actually know the fucking person involved.
And I had been to their childhood home. I've met their mom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just not the way I would have wanted his story to end.
His father took me and him and Alex. We all went to go see episode 3, Rise of the Sith, together at the Galaxy Theater. out in
Revenge of the
Chesterfield.
Sith.
Yeah, that one. Sorry. You know, there's so many I just stopped caring about.
I've
Star
totally
Wars.
forgot about the new one and all their names. The one
There-
was The
there are-
Last Jedi.
The only good one was episode 7, and I don't want to get into it. But yeah.
Was it the
no.
Ryan Johnson one?
Yeah, no, episode 8 was Ryan Johnson.
I like that one.
I hated that. Just get out of here.
No, I like that one.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. You gotta just give me some air. Okay. I love you. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Okay. But yeah, I went with him and his father and his twin brother, and we all went and saw Revenge of the Sith at the Galaxy Theater.
I
in
can
Chesterfield.
smell that theater right now.
I could smell that car on the way there.
I
that's
can
for sure.
smell the four of you. That's like that story when you and me and Dad went to see Kangaroo Jack. It's like just picture the cave troll from Fellowship of the Ring, and then 3 of those
They've got the cave.
stampeding toward your ticket booth. I mean, imagine the fear. Imagine the fog on the glass.
I remember seeing Goldmember, the third Austin Powers movie, with
Yikes.
your father in theaters. I think we were on a road trip too.
That is an example of a period
were
in time where life was too good and we had no idea. We still had a lot of things to fix and complain about, but life was really good.
And we're like, you know what?
When
We're stopping
people-
here for the night. We're going to get a hotel room.
When you could go to a movie theater and just enjoy a garbage comedy like that, just relish in it, and just the popcorn was $1 and shit, people had no idea the bubble that was going to burst.
Yep, and then you walk in on stuff in the hotel room that you don't want to walk in on, and you just never really forget those memories. So what else you got on that list?
What
over
is
there?
that referring
Nothing,
to?
doesn't matter.
Did you see something?
I walked in on some stuff.
You walked in on something?
I don't remember if it was exactly that trip, but it was a trip like that trip.
What trip? What trip?
It was a trip with our family when our parents were together again. I don't feel like I have to say any more. What else you got on that list over there?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
It's hard out there, folks.
Hard out there.
Chaos persists. Kim Gardner's resignation took effect June 1st, and nobody had any idea how that was going to go. There were not really any plans. It took forever for them to name somebody else. Their name I don't have currently. Also, charges refused in a Cherokee Street shooting a couple weeks ago.
Are you talking about the Cinco shooting?
Police said the shooting...
Yeah, the fucking
Yeah.
like those guys just started firing into a crowd during Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, it was on Cinco de
It
Mayo?
was Cinco on Cherokee. Yeah, my buddy was working that event, and he was like had just taken the golf cart to go get more beer for their tent, and then these guys just started popping off, and yeah, no charges were.
In the video here, you can clearly see the gunmen's faces. The gun woman and another gentleman had a gun. And
the gun people.
Police said the shooting happened at about 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. That would have been May 5th, I believe.
5th or 6th, I can't remember.
Whatever.
It was that weekend. But yeah, they just and then people rioted and took all of the beer out of one of the tents, at least one, and I think a couple people got shot, and it's just like what the fuck. And then yeah, no charges, just
That's the thing.
just
that's
happened.
Weird.
And I guess the argument
She was taken into custody, and
Go ahead.
they were caught on video. The department filed charges with the circuit attorney's office, but charges were later refused, citing lack of evidence, and victim refuses to assist. So nobody wanted to say anything. And even though they had this lady on camera waving a gun, I guess inherently, without the victim's assistance, they can't articulate a charge.
Right. Well, also there's that thing called the bystander effect, which is when you are with a group of people and some shit's going down and you expect other people to step in so then you don't have to. And that's the same way that lady got sexually assaulted by that
Right in
homeless
front
guy
of the
on that-
luminary.
No, same way that lady got sexually assaulted on that subway train by that homeless guy.
Yeah.
And no one did anything. People just started recording.
Well, but
and
then
no one stepped in.
But then that crazy guy was on the train and they choked him to death, and then that guy's going to jail.
Who got choked to death?
Some guy that what he would do is he'd spend all morning, I think, rubbing a giant rock of crack on his face. and then he'd get in his Michael Jackson attire, and he would replace his hands with knives, and he would go on the subway and dance.
Wow.
And he would also expose himself to people. That's the thing that's resurfaced is there's been a lot of video of this guy like exposing himself to people, and but he's dead now, and I don't want that to be the
What
case.
I do with my crack rocks is I rub them on my armpits like deodorant, and then nobody knows, and it sort of just seeps in slowly. And it gives me a good first half of my day.
Yeah, and so that's good. So Glendale sophomore who recorded teachers saying racial slur suspended for policy violation.
One more time, sorry.
Glendale sophomore who recorded teachers saying a racial slur has been suspended for a policy violation, I guess, about the usage of the phone.
Oh, so that's...
So that's happening. I'm
That's
sure
a
the
thing.
teacher got fired too, but
Yeah, but that's not what's getting
Yeah,
talked about.
too
It's
late.
talking about how the kid gets suspended.
Vice
using their
Media, once worth $5.7 billion, files for bankruptcy. But for some reason, they're still posting shit on Instagram.
What else? Who else just filed for bankruptcy that threw me off? It was a big company. It was like a Toys R Us level style fucking thing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I don't really give a shit about Vice Media.
What else? Did you
But
see
it's crazy.
Danny-
You know,
did you
started
see-
from the top and then now you're here.
Did you see Danny Masterson got convicted of rape after a retrial
Danny Masterson
from That 70s Show?
Yeah, Hyde. Yeah, no, multiple allegations over the last 5 years, I think. I'm glad that's finally happening for him. I feel bad for anyone that fell victim to that piece of shit. And I also sometimes wonder how his family's doing with that, because remember, his brother was Malcolm in the Middle. He was Francis.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you do when you're... Oh, and then his sister was that one pregnant lesbian lady in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, what do you do when you and your siblings, are popular in television over the last 20 years, and then your name is sullied because you have a sibling that did some horrible shit and abused their status to get themselves into certain positions where they could get away with certain things like that.
Oh, yeah. Did you see George Santos got arrested?
Which one's that one?
George Santos is the one that lied about everything, about his whole life and resume, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's charged with making false statements to Congress, money laundering, wire fraud, and theft of public funds. So,
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it big.
yeah, do it up, light it up, make it rain those stolen dollars, George. We all know this, but Biden is too old to even humanely be left to live out his days naturally in peace. He looks like Hannibal Lecter's vengeful chair-bound victim from my favorite chapter in the Lecter saga,
It's
Hannibal.
pretty rough. It's kind of like, remember seeing George Bush Sr. do that first pitch out of that wheelchair in that baseball game?
Yeah, it's like, honey,
And I'm glad
let that man go to bed.
I'm glad they were able to make a meme out of it, but at the same time,
But let that man have
What?
peace with Jesus. Fix it, Jesus.
or it's like when Hillary was running and Bill just looked like he got lobotomized. It's just
God,
kinda like,
I want
what's
whatever
going on?
Xanax he was on.
Dude, whatever he was on, he was barely there.
He was so
And what's funny,
semi-present.
What's
it was
funny
glorious.
is at the time we're like, oh no, Bill. But then we basically elected the same fucking person to be president last time around, because you look at Biden and he's just kind of like.
I like the one where he's trying to hand the pen back to the guy.
I like the one where his wife's giving a speech as the first lady, and he walks off to get an ice cream cone. There was an ice cream truck, and
That I kinda like.
He turned, and then he just walks off camera, and then when her speech is over, they pan over to him, and he's eating an ice cream cone. Like, hey, your wife's giving one of her first official announcements as the first lady, and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, oh ice cream. I'm gonna go get that ice cream.
Some of
It's
the cats at Caddyshack sent us a message. They're watching the stream, and they sent us a bunch of random letters, and then Sarah clarified. That's from the cats.
Did they just walk across the keyboard?
That's what it looks like. One of them was holding shift, though, I think.
You know what? That's really good social media presence, even if it's not the cats.
I
and
think
it's
the
actually
cats
just
should be
people.
on it.
They should just get on there and just clickety-clack on the keyboard
What
for
else
a
are they
second,
doing?
and then be like, oh, sorry, it was the cats.
I mean, they're eating free food.
I like when I see that it's like a Tinder conversation, and then it's like some really just crazy shit, and then they say, sorry, my cat was on my keyboard. It's like, I want to lick your butthole through a stack of pancakes. And they're like, sorry, that was my cat. My cat walked on my keyboard.
Sorry, my cat is vile.
Yeah, sorry.
My
That's-
cat is a real road dog.
Yeah, that was crazy that my cat did that when he walked on the keyboard. But yeah.
Teacher pepper sprayed by student for confiscating phone.
A student pepper sprayed a teacher?
Yeah.
That's
Listen,
not what they're for.
you shouldn't have pepper spray on you
there
at school. You shouldn't need to have pepper spray
Well,
on you
listen,
at school.
Hold on. Because
I got a list of
this
things.
is a time in this world, this timeline, this country.
It's a sensitive time for our
where
nation.
you should be able to carry pepper spray in a school. But if you're going to use that pepper spray because you're fucking with your phone and not learning and the teacher tries to take your phone away, that's wrong. And also, it's already hard enough to staff these schools. So I feel even worse for that teacher because they're probably still not making enough money.
No.
And, they probably feel just about as good as one of these fur-covered socks you got on this basement floor. And then they get pepper sprayed for just trying to enforce their lessons upon these students that don't want to learn. But also, it's not their fault that the kids don't want to learn. And also, I mean, I openly spend way too much time on my phone, especially when I'm not, like, busy. I'm on there. I'm on those social media apps, and I'm just wasting my time away. Sometimes I'll wake up at 6 in the morning on a Saturday, and I won't get out of bed till 9 because I just lay there and look at TikToks and Instagrams and whatever else, and that's just kind of what happens. And I'm like, well, shit, I could have done something with these last 3 hours. That's what I did last week. And are you going to the restroom? Yeah. Oh. How's everyone doing? Is everyone doing good? One second. So my whole thing is, if I were a teacher and someone was fucking around on their phone, I would take it away from them. And if they pepper sprayed me, that's a tricky thing. I wouldn't, knee-jerk reaction, I'd pop that kid in the face. But also then I'd go to jail or worse. And if I got pepper sprayed just trying to do my job, you know what, that's why I can't really do anything that's a public service. I mean, I don't want to be a cop, don't like those guys, but I was going to be a paramedic, and if I got pepper sprayed just trying to help somebody, I don't know how it would work out for me. I don't really have a lot of impulse control. So, Jacob, please help me. You left me alone.
No, what are you talking about?
You left me alone.
I left you for 20 seconds.
Last time you left me
you're
alone.
Saying you can't
last
be trusted?
time you left me alone, we were on a topic. You told me to describe a wooden head that you bought at a yard sale, and I was able to make that into a thing. But you left me in a weird spot. You can't just do that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, what else?
If you got pepper sprayed as a teacher,
here's the thing.
Hold on. If you got pepper sprayed as a teacher, would you react and pop that kid in the face, or slap him? You're a slapper. You're more of a slapper.
I would lay down and I'd call my attorney, Alfred James Ludwig, and an ambulance in that order.
I do like Al. Al would know what to do.
Al would fix me up.
Wait, isn't he a divorce lawyer?
No.
What's he specialize in?
Copyright mostly.
Okay, well, how would that help you?
He knows exactly who to forward me to.
Oh, that's good. He's your guy?
He's the guy.
He's your guy with the connects?
He'd say, listen, stay in the ambulance, call this number.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's what I need in that situation.
I don't know. I just feel like I would be so angry and upset.
But here's my thing.
And my feelings would be hurt. You know what? I probably wouldn't hit the kid, but I'd probably pick up that one desk that wasn't occupied in the room and throw it at the wall.
Yeah, I don't think...
And that would get me fired.
Yeah, I don't think you should have pepper spray at school. I don't think you should need to have pepper spray at school.
Well, no, I'm saying that it's probably acceptable for them to have something like that.
Can I read my fucking bullet-pointed list of
Go ahead.
Shit?
Read it.
You should only use pepper spray when you're at risk of being physically hurt or abducted.
Right.
But I also would want my teenage daughter to have a chance at protecting herself if such a risk were to arise. I do not think and have never thought that we should take phones away from students in school. Public schools function a little too much like prisons. I've been in and out of them for 12 years.
Yeah.
We need to teach kids to self-regulate. Demanding compliance is not sustainable.
The biggest thing with that is if they don't want to pay attention in class and they want to fuck off on their phone, then they fail, and that's on them.
Demanding that a young person of any demographic, really, but specifically a young person of color hand their phone over to a white stranger in a compulsory public institution.
Don't even bring up the demographic thing.
Is not
just
well, that's the video. In the video, it's a black
students.
girl that maces a white teacher. And so people are really ignorant about that online. And I don't think in any demographic mix-up, though, that we should be forcing kids to hand over what they probably rightfully perceive as their property. You have to teach them how to self-regulate.
Okay, that's a good perspective on that, because I wasn't thinking that originally. I was just thinking what would happen if I was trying to, force knowledge onto these people, and then these
No,
these
the
young
teacher,
adults, and
the
then I
teacher
got
should
maced.
not have been made to feel like they need to take the phone.
Right. Also, but is that a thing, what I said about how, like, if they want to fuck around on their phones, they don't want to learn, and then they fail the tests, and then they fail the class, is the teacher going to be in trouble for that? For
Yeah,
them
I mean,
failing?
if test scores don't improve, everyone will be upset.
Right, but if your logic behind, if your defense is like, I tried and they didn't want to listen, and so I just kept teaching, and then they missed it, and then they failed, is it still on you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, you can have a heart-to-heart with them and be like, hey, listen, if you keep looking at TikToks in class and not, like, learning what I'm trying to teach you, you're going to fail this class. And then they continue to do it. Can you make, like, a timestamp?
well, you can document
Can
stuff.
you take a selfie with them and send it to the principal?
But
and
if
be
you
like,
have
hey,
a
listen.
kid, if you have a kid that's not defiant or violent, and they just don't want to participate in the work repeatedly, I mean, it's really hard to.
The mace thing was still a bad move.
I mean, you're eventually an adult that works in that school district is going to be held accountable for those test scores, whether that's correct or not.
Right.
And so that creates this dynamic of I really need you to take this test seriously. But it's not really about what makes the situation so complicated is that the kid is entitled to that education and those resources, which I believe in. But then you create this thing that's like, I can't get rid of you, but I can't make you do the thing that people are telling me I need you to do. And that's why people leave the field. I mean, that's why I, left the field.
I thought you left the field because you hated your boss.
Yeah, but that happened at 3 organizations in a row. Mm-hmm. And I said, fool me 3 times. Shame on you. But you cuck me that 4th time, Daddy, that's on me.
Okay, there you go. That's what it is.
I ain't getting cucked by the system again.
Mm-hmm.
Not me.
No,
Not up in here.
That's fair. And I mean, I've changed fields so many goddamn times in the last 7 years that it's just kind of like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just out there. I'm like Tom Hanks on that shitty raft in Castaway, and I'm just kind of just hoping that I don't lose my volleyball friend.
Wow.
What else you got?
We're kind of over time, and so
Are we really?
Yeah. I think we should just plan on doing another one of these in a week. And
That sounds fair. We could talk about how I completely bombed your trivia night.
No. You're gonna do great.
I know it's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna need
I
you to
did that
do it.
multiple times before you even started doing trivia.
That's
there.
why I thought of
ran
it.
trivia.
That's why I thought of it. You were the trivia.
I
guy.
had to borrow your PA. I had to come to your house and get your PA. And
They
take
have
it
their
there
own
and
thing
set
there
it up.
now. You
Yeah,
don't
I'm
even-
glad you streamlined the experience.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
But
be easier.
18 teams on average.
18 is the most we ever have,
That's
but
a
we've had
lot.
18 several times.
Oh man.
So it depends on how people are traveling and whatnot.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Follow us, guys. Jacob V Weekly, wherever you get podcasts. We have an Instagram page for the show at Jacob V Weekly. You can contact the show using this number on the screen here, 314-626-4208, text or voicemail. You can email the show at jacobvweekly@gmail.com. Original music by No Antics, Blinded by Stereo, Jacob V, available everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify. You can order the Blinded by Stereo LP on Bandcamp.
Also, if you want to get me a new job that doesn't involve getting pepper sprayed, by
Get baby
children,
brother a job.
Get me a job. I just don't want to.
I could also do some jobs.
I just don't want to do applications anymore. I'm exhausted.
I curate a monthly playlist every month on Spotify. Jacob V's favorite songs on Spotify for June 2023 is up, updated frequently. We just hit, I think, 2 years of those. I've been doing longer. It's
what?
been 3 years. I've been making those Spotify playlists every month.
That's crazy.
So those are public. You can go follow those. Keep hip on what I'm listening to. And patreon.com/JacobV. JacobV.com. Caddyshack.
When did you start this podcast?
October of 2020.
Man, we're coming up on 3 years of Jacob V Weekly.
Yeah, we should do a live show.
That's crazy. You should make it a thing. You should make it a whole event. You could do live music. You could make it a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
An hour for each year.
Live podcasts are hard to translate effectively, but we'll see what the audience wants. Let
You
us
think
know
with
what you
3
want.
years of experience, though, you could probably do it.
Yeah, by now. But
Yeah.
let's wrap this up, guys.
You don't know me by now.
Bingo tonight.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trivia tomorrow.
Are you doing bingo tonight?
Yeah,
At the Blue Wood?
yeah, I'm supposed to.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It'll be great.
So you're doing
Salika
bingo
Salon.
tonight at 6:30 at the Blue Wood.
Blue Hood, baby.
Wow.